So this is the vertical jump test, and it's really a measure of the power that your client can generate in their lower body. Essentially, we want to measure how high they can jump, but to know that, we're going to use this device. A lot of times you might see this be tested with just the measuring tape along the wall, but we happen to have this, and we know this is an efficient device, so this is what we're using today. To begin, the first thing I need to measure is Clara's initial height. Once again, I'd want to remind her that she should be properly warmed up. Maybe I'd want to do stretches with her, but we've been doing a lot of things today, so I know she's already good to go. So for the initial height, Clara, step around. And for this device, you always start by moving the upper pole first, right? Never the bottom one, you start with the upper. And you'll see along the side that there are numbers that are indicated, so you should only be closing the clamp when it's in line with a number. Those numbers actually represent the feet, so the height of the device. So here I've moved it up to the 6-foot mark, and this is in fact as high as this upper pole will go. Now you'll notice there's black and red pegs. Those represent the inches in the feet. So this is at 6 feet. The black pegs represent 6 feet to 7 feet, and then the red pegs represent 7 feet to 8 feet. So we always have a 2-foot span worth of pegs that we can work with. Now, I can take Clara's initial height here, but I know that she can jump higher than this. So I'm going to just go ahead and move it up 1 more foot to the 7-foot marker, at which point now I've got to use the lower pole. Once again, the top pole only goes up to the 6-foot mark. So I'm going to open up this clamp, slide this up, look for my number 7, which is right here. I'm going to close the clamp on that number, and now we can take Clara's initial reach. If the pegs are not aligned, you could always just use this stick to make sure they're lined up. So Clara's just going to step under the pegs, reach as high as she can. You don't want your client to go on their tiptoes, simply because of the fact that you can't really use your tiptoes when you're in the air jumping anyway, so it'll actually deduct from her overall score. So with my pole at 7 feet, she's moved 1, 2, 3 pegs, so that's actually a reach of 7'3". So you would make a note of that in your logbook, and now we're ready to do the test. So I'd reline these pegs up. There's no run-up allowed for this test. So the vertical jump is going to be a stationary jump. Clara's already lined up in a fairly good position. You want to be slightly behind the pegs and a little bit to the side. And when she's going to explode, so you're going to want to be in an athletic stance, as Clara's already taken. She's going to squat down and explode up as high as she can. She's going to move the pegs when she's at the top of her jump. Now you don't want the client to kind of do a volleyball smash or hit them too violently, because a lot of the pegs will move and we won't know which one is hers. So typically it's just a tap, as if you're maybe blocking in volleyball rather than the smash in volleyball. It's a little bit weird at first, but the client does get 3 trials. So they will have multiple tries for it. Beyond 3 trials, typically muscle fatigue is going to set in, and their score wouldn't have been higher anyway, but we will maintain the highest score that she can produce. So if the client doesn't have any other questions, all right, I'll step out of the way a little bit. And whenever you're ready, Clara, jump as high as you can. Perfect. So once again, as a reminder, our pole is at 7 feet. The black pegs represent the first foot, so this is 7 foot. This would be 8 foot 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this would be a height of 8'6". And the camera may not pick it up, but there's actually numbers all the way in the back, so you wouldn't actually have to count it the way I just did. But this is a height of 8'6". Her initial reach was 7'3". So she actually has a vertical jump of 1 foot 3 inches, or a total of 15 inches. With that information, I could then calculate her power that she was able to generate considering her mass. Now, she would try 2 more times. You want to give about a minimum 15 seconds rest between each try. With my explanation, she's reached that point now. And so we'd be able to do it 2 more times, and that would terminate the test.